There are some special kind of the organisms which are whose names are taken along with the viruses, but they are not viruses. They are some kind of the bacteria, or there can be the chlamydia, or there are some other organisms. One of them is the rickettsia. We will see that what are the differences and the similarities between rickettsia and the viruses. The rickettsia, the terms used along with the viruses, most of the times we take that is terms and we can just common man take them as the viruses, but actually they are not the viruses. We will see in detail. They are the bacteria. They are transmitted through the diseases which are transmitted, and they are transmitted through the parasites. Most of the time they are transmitted through the ticks, and ticks bites and then they will cause the disease in their host. Rickettsia is also capable of causing the disease in the human beings. What is the rickettsia actually? Actually, they are the bacteria. Their domain is the bacteria. They are belonging to the phylum Proteobacteria, and their class is alpha Proteobacteria. They are from the order of the Rickettsiales, and the family is the Rickettsia, and the tribe is again the Rickettsia, and the genus is the Rickettsia. This is the detailed which about the rickets. So therefore it is very clear from this that they are the bacteria, they are not the virus. However, they are similar to the like virus because they are transmitted through the ticks, with the ticks, and most of the viruses are also transmitted just like the dengue virus, just like the mosquitoes are capable of transmitting a large number of the viruses. So general features, they are obligatory bacteria. They have two very important morphological forms. One is called as elementary body and the other is called as reticulate body. Both of them are very important. The extracellular is the elementary body, remains the outside of the cells, while the reticular body will remain inside the cell. Most important feature of them, they are unable to make the ATP, also called the energy parasites. Therefore, for their energies, they need their host. Therefore, they are called obligatory parasites. They have to be, obligation mean that they have no other choice. They have to live in some other host for making their ATPs. Can be grown in the tissue culture like yolk sac, or the tissue culture, or the HeLa and McCoy cell lines. They have the characteristics of their development cycle. However, from here point of view, we are going to see their differences and their similarities with the viruses, why they are always seen or used with the viruses. This is the life cycle of the rickettsia. Here you can see the adult, they are transmitted through the mosquitoes, or through the not mosquitoes, maybe the ticks. Here they can also be transmitted through the larvae, and their host may also contain the human beings, which is very important. Again, they can be transmitted through the nymph, through the larvae, or through the adults, and hosts are most of the mammals or the birds are also there, and rickettsia is quite capable. This is the shape of the bacteria. They are rod shaped bacteria. Here you can see, not the viruses. They can be cause hatching, and then they will cause the, here is the ticks, they will hatching, and then they will be transmitted to the larvae, or they can transmit it to the molting, to the lymph, and any of these structure can cause the disease, and they can transfer this bacteria in their final host to cause the disease. What are their similarities with the viruses? Why they are used with the viruses? Their size, the smaller size, they are very small in size, just like the viruses. Therefore, they are, and the obligatory intercellular parasites. Of course, we have already studied that viruses are the obligatory parasites. They cannot live, they cannot replicate without their host. Similarly, they are also the rickettsia, they are incapable of making their own ATP, so therefore they have to be live in their host for their energy parasite, just like as an energy parasite to make their own energy. Similarly, the viruses, they have to live in their own host to replicate. Ability to produce normal manifestations in the host. It is also similar to the viruses. Both of them have this ability. Unable to produce in the artificial media. This is also very important. This is the similarity from the structural point of view. Here on the right side they are the viruses, and then on the left side they are the rickettsia. Differences in the size. The size is not similar. Of course, when we are going to compare, this is not very similar sizes. The rickettsies are larger. They are the bacteria. They are microscopic visible, and they spread through the insects' bites. Here we can give the differences between the rickettsia, and there is one more organism which is chlamydia, and the viruses. Here you can see the differences, which are the DNA and RNA. Rickettsia are the typical bacteria, will contain both of them. Chlamydia will also both of them, and then virus can contain RNA or DNA. What are the properties of the multiplication? Rickettsia and chlamydia are different from the viruses. They can multiply through the binary fission, of course, just like because bacteria. However, binary fission does not affect on the virus. Similarly, the cell wall muronic acid, the ribosome, the metabolically active enzymes, and the inhibition by the antibacterial enzymes, all these properties are there in both of these. However, the virus does not contain any of these properties which are here. Only the ATP synthesis, which is rickettsia, yes, they need, and the chlamydia, they don't ATP produce, and then virus, they are also not energy parasites. So only the rickettsia are energy parasites. They need the ATP synthesis, and for this ATP synthesis, the energy synthesis, they need the parasites and they need the host, and for this purpose they are also called as obligatory parasite, and that's why they need the intermediate host, which may be the tick, to produce the energy.